Artificial intelligence is beginning to do something even the most experienced horsemen sometimes cannot. It can detect the earliest signs of lameness before a rider feels it, before a trainer notices it, and sometimes even before a veterinarian can see it. Using wearable sensors and advanced machine learning, AI can analyze the movement of a horse with astonishing precision. Every stride, every landing, every tiny shift in balance. Thousands of data points are collected every second and analyzed instantly by algorithms trained to recognize patterns in equine movement. Patterns that humans might miss, because sometimes the very first sign of lameness is almost invisible. It might be nothing more than a difference of a few millimeters in how a horse's head moves during a trot, or a barely measurable imbalance in how weight is distributed between two limbs. So subtle that no human observer could reliably detect it. Yet, those tiny changes may be the earliest warning signs of injury, and catching them early can make the difference between a minor setback and a career-ending problem. For centuries, horse care has relied on observation, the trained eye of riders, trainers, and veterinarians. Riders learn to feel when something is slightly off. Trainers learn to spot subtle irregularities in rhythm or stride. Veterinarians perform flexion tests, watch horses move in hand, and observe them under saddle. But even the best eyes in the world have limits. The human brain simply cannot measure motion precisely enough to detect the smallest asymmetries in movement. And that matters. Because lameness rarely begins dramatically. It begins quietly, with a slight imbalance, a microscopic shift in weight distribution, or a subtle hesitation in one limb lasting only a fraction of a second. These tiny changes may be the first sign that a tendon is under strain, that a joint is beginning to inflame, or that a muscle is compensating for discomfort somewhere else in the body. But by the time those changes become visible to the human eye, the underlying problem may already be progressing. That is why early detection is so important. Lameness is one of the most common health problems affecting horses across every discipline. Whether it is dressage, show jumping, eventing, racing, or recreational riding. Horses are incredible athletes, but their legs carry enormous forces. Tendons, ligaments, joints, and bones absorb repeated impacts during training and competition. And when something begins to go wrong, the horse often compensates. A sore front leg may cause the horse to shift weight to the opposite limb. A slight hind limb issue may change how the pelvis moves. Over time, these compensations place extra strain on other parts of the body. And what began as a small issue can quickly become a much larger problem. This is where wearable sensor technology comes in. In recent years, researchers and equine technology companies have developed small motion sensors that can be attached to a horse's body during training or veterinary examination. These sensors are lightweight and unobtrusive. Some are attached near the pole, others near the pelvis, and some can be placed in the limbs or saddle area. Inside these small devices are extremely sensitive motion detectors called accelerometers. They measure movement in 3 dimensions: up and down, side to side, and forward and backward. Every time the horse takes a step, the sensors record how the body moves through space. They capture the timing of each stride, measure how much the head rises and falls, tracks pelvic motion, and monitor the rhythm of limb impacts. They do this thousands of times per second. The result is an incredibly detailed digital record of how the horse moves. But the real revolution happens when that data is analyzed by artificial intelligence. A single riding session can generate millions of data points, far too much information for a human to analyze manually. This is where machine learning becomes essential. AI systems are trained on massive data sets of horse movements that include sound horses, horses with different types of lamenesses, and horses recovering from injury. By comparing these data sets, the AI learns to recognize patterns of healthy asymmetrical movement and patterns that suggest imbalance or asymmetry. When a horse wears sensors during training, the data is processed by the system and compared to those learned patterns. If irregularities appear that may indicate lameness, the system flags them. Sometimes these irregularities are extremely subtle. For example, when a horse experiences pain in one forelimb, it often raises its head slightly when that limb hits the ground in order to reduce pressure on the painful leg. To a human observer, this change may be almost invisible, but sensors can detect the exact difference in vertical head movement. Even a few millimeters of difference between left and right strides can be measured. The same principle applies to the hind limbs. If a horse has pain in one hind leg, the pelvis may move unevenly during the trot. Again, the change may be very difficult to see clearly, but motion sensors detect it immediately. For veterinarians, this provides objective data about how the horse is moving. Instead of relying only on observation, they can analyze measurable movement patterns. That information can help them pinpoint where a problem might be developing. In some cases, these systems can detect irregularities weeks before obvious lameness appears. That early warning can make a tremendous difference. If a problem is detected, early treatment may be simple. The horse may need rest, adjustments to training intensity, changes in chewing, or targeted physical therapy. Addressing the issue early may prevent more serious injury. Without early detection, the horse may continue training while compensating for discomfort. Over time, that compensation can create additional strain elsewhere in the body. A sore tendon may lead to joint inflammation, or a slight imbalance may increase the stress on another limb. What began as a manageable issue can turn into a significant injury. For riders and trainers, wearable technology also offers valuable insight into training patterns. Some systems allow riders to review data after every ride, tracking symmetry between left and right limbs, stride rhythm, and consistency across sessions. If the horse's movement begins to change, even slightly, it may indicate fatigue or developing strain. This information allows trainers to adjust workload before problems escalate. Experience and instinct remain important, but now they can be supported by measurable data. Over time, this creates a clearer understanding of the horse's physical condition. One of the most exciting possibilities lies in injury prevention. Artificial intelligence is particularly good at identifying patterns over long periods of time. By analyzing data collected across weeks or months, AI systems may detect gradual shifts that indicate rising injury risk. For example, the algorithm may notice that a horse's stride length is slowly shortening, or that the timing between limb impacts is suddenly changing. Individually, these changes might seem insignificant, but together they may indicate increasing stress on specific structures within the horse's body. If those trends are identified early, trainers and veterinarians can intervene before injury occurs. Training schedules may be adjusted, recovery periods increased, or preventative therapies introduced. This represents a shift towards preventative equine medicine rather than reactive treatment after injury has already happened. In disciplines like dressage, where precision movement is everything, this technology could be particularly valuable. Dressage horses perform highly demanding movements that require exceptional strength, balance, and coordination. Collected work places significant strain on the hindquarters, and advanced movements such as piaffe, passage, and pirouettes require tremendous muscular engagement. Even a small imbalance can escalate into a serious problem if it goes unnoticed. Motion analysis technology allows trainers and veterinarians to monitor these horses more closely and detect changes in symmetry before they become visible. Beyond performance, this technology also has important implications for horse welfare. In recent years, equestrian sports have faced growing scrutiny over how horses are trained and managed. Concerns about injury rates, training intensity, and welfare standards have sparked intense discussion within the horse world. AI-based movement analysis introduces objective data into these conversations. Instead of relying solely on subjective opinions about whether a horse looks sound, measurable movement patterns can be analyzed. Instead of waiting for visible breakdowns, early warning signs may prompt preventative action. Technology, therefore, becomes a tool that can support better welfare decisions. Of course, these systems are not perfect. Cost can still be a barrier for some riders and trainers, although prices are gradually decreasing as technology advances. Interpreting the data correctly is also important. Not every asymmetry means a horse is injured. Some horses naturally move slightly unevenly, and factors such as footing, fatigue, and rider influence can affect movement data. For that reason, wearable sensors and AI analysis should always be used alongside professional veterinary evaluation rather than replacing it. The goal is not to replace human expertise, but to enhance it with better information. Looking ahead, the future may bring even more advanced monitoring systems. Some researchers are exploring ways to monitor horses continuously rather than only during training session. Lightweight sensors could track movement throughout the day during turnout, exercise, and daily activity. Data could be transmitted automatically to cloud-based AI systems that analyze long-term trends in movement. If abnormal patterns appear, alerts could notify owners or veterinarians. Combined with other technologies such as heart rate monitoring, thermal imaging, and video gait analysis, this could create a comprehensive picture of equine health, a kind of smart, stable environment where technology quietly monitors the well-being of every horse and potential problems are detected before they become serious injuries. Yet even as technology evolves, one thing remains unchanged: the relationship between humans and horses. For centuries, riders and trainers have learned to read the subtle signals horses give through movement, behavior, and attitude. Those skills will always remain essential. Artificial intelligence does not replace that connection. Instead, it adds another level of understanding. It allows us to see patterns that were previously invisible and to detect the earliest signs of discomfort before they become serious pain. If used responsibly, these technologies may help usher in a new era of horse care, one where injuries are caught earlier, training decisions are guided by better information, and the extraordinary athletes we call horses are protected with the precision they deserve. Horses have given humans their strength, speed, and trust for thousands of years. Now, with the help of artificial intelligence, we may finally be learning how to care for them even better.